But that's the issue that I'm seeing a lot lately. We are leaving our thinking to someone else. In this case, to the media and the government. It wasn't even hours after that event happened, and already the media was using the name Osama bin Laden. And of course, they had a blood in their mouths, if you will, and they wanted the government to do the thinking for us. Oh, if they're saying Osama bin Laden, let's go get him, without using critical thinking. And I was mentioning to you offline that I recently reconnected with a good friend of my childhood who happens to be, a law graduate from Georgetown, has a doctorate degree in law. She stopped practicing law to become a teacher because that was her passion. And she was telling me that the goal of the Department of Education in the United States is essentially to make high school graduates think like seventh graders. In other words, to take critical thinking, to limit verbal and written and writing skills. Do you think this is part of the problem?
Very, very much. And I see more of a need for education now than ever. Not our public fool system, as I've heard people call it, but true education. It doesn't necessarily come in a mass production line type of situation. Matter of fact, it's best if it doesn't. I was reading a Swedish article with a Google translator recently, and I thought it was a beautiful statement. They're writing about my work, and they said, there is no need for another conspiracy than the one that destroyed the educational system.
That's very powerful.
Very, very. And look what happened. Imagine this. The buildings turned to dust. They didn't burn up. They didn't slam to the ground. They turned to dust in midair. We know that because of lots of key features: lack of significant seismic signal, lack of a seismic signal that traveled through the earth. There wasn't one. And lack of damage to the bathtub. And we saw there was very little rubble left over. And we saw the steel turning to dust as it fell, trailing dust. So here was these huge buildings that turned to dust in midair right in front of our faces on TV. Why did so few people see it? That's the question we should all be asking.